Welcome to r/Entitledparents, where parents literally give their little girls to complete strangers and then blame other people when their little girl goes missing. I used to work in a small chain of bookstores and stationery shops. We'd sell books, pens, papers, and so on. It was a quirky little store, straight out of a romantic love novella, or a Stephen King book if you prefer. This happened a few years ago and I can reconstruct it from memory. While trying to be as accurate as possible, I can't guarantee it. Entitled mom walks into the store with the little girl. It's rather early in the morning. Entitled mom looks around, asks me if I could watch her child. I say, "Oh no, I'm terrible with children, sorry." Entitled mom tells me that it's not for long and I shouldn't be such a fuss about it. I still politely refuse. It's not my job to watch children. I'm afraid to do something wrong. What happens? Entitled mom leaves the store. Who do I find hidden in the corner? Little girl who seems to be rather shy and fearful. This happened back in a time before everyone had smartphones. The kid obviously didn't have a mobile on it. I suspected the mother also wouldn't. Wasn't too surprised that little girl didn't know the number of their landline. I sigh. What are you gonna do? If something happens to that kid while being in the store and you being the only present employee, you're gonna have a bad time. "Hey girl, what's your name?" "Blank." I give her my name. The little girl, happy like only kids can be if they think they did something smart or they knew something, says, "My surname is Blank." Now, this rang a bell. I had a good customer with the same surname. It turns out that it's her dad. I didn't get paid enough to babysit. In fact, I didn't even get paid enough to do my normal work. I call her dad at his workplace since we saved that number in our system. The call went along these lines. "Hi, nice dad. It's me from Bookstore Blank." "Oh, hi. How's it going? I don't remember having any open orders." "Yeah, look, listen, do you have a daughter?" Yes. Why do you ask?" "What's her name?" I just wanted to ensure it's really her dad and not just a stupid coincidence. If I think now about it, little girl told me it's her dad, so I don't know why I wasn't sure. Nice dad apologizes for entitled mom's behavior and tells me he's gonna pick little girl up as soon as possible. While waiting for nice dad, I picked up one of our sale books. A box with damaged books that we try to sell with huge discount before throwing away. In this case, a picture book from Disney. Little girl tries to read a little, I read a little. Nice dad arrives. Little girl runs to him and hugs him, crying that mommy was mean to her. Nice dad soothes her and thanks me for babysitting her. He gives me a bottle of wine and buys something small from the store. Nice dad says, "If entitled mom shows up again, could you not tell her that I picked up little girl?" "What? Why?" "If you don't feel like it, you don't need to. It's rather complicated and you already did so much for us." Nice dad leaves. In the evening, entitled mom shows up. Just to point out, she dropped little girl at about 9 a.m. It was 5:45 in the afternoon. "Where's my daughter?" Me, already chugged about half the bottle of wine and thus a little boozed. "Your what?" "My daughter. I dropped her in the store and you were here." Me, way too drunk for work, but already decided to go for another job or be homeless. Both would have been better. "Your what?" Entitled mom was on the edge, thus I did what I thought was the smartest thing to do. A guy came into the store and picked her up. He seemed nice, gave me some wine for her. At this point, I expected her to explode or attack me, but she just left the store. A few weeks pass and nice dad and little girl come to the store, both happy to see me. Nice dad asks me if I got a few minutes. An excuse not to work? Obviously, I took the time for customer service. Gave little girl the same book we had last time and had a talk with nice dad. Entitled mom and nice dad were in the middle of a divorce when entitled mom dropped little girl at our store. One of the reasons nice dad wanted a divorce was that entitled mom wasn't nice to little girl. Now, in my country as a male, it's rather hard to get custody for your child, no matter what. Little girl wanted to be with nice dad, but that doesn't matter. Entitled mom dropping little girl in our store was a gift from the heavens. Nice dad took little girl to his sister overnight. Entitled mom pretended that little girl was sleeping at one of her friends. Nice dad wanted to call them just to ensure that little girl was fine. Entitled mom didn't want that. Little girl's friend didn't know where little girl is. Entitled mom claimed she dropped little girl at little girl's friends. Nice dad faked panic and involved the police. Entitled mom insisted that little girl's friend kidnapped little girl. Police asked Nice Dad and Entitled Mom separately, and Nice Dad told the police what happened. Entitled Mom still insisted on her dropping little girl at little girl's friends. Nice Dad had proof of it being otherwise since he already called the police when he dropped little girl at his sister's house. Now, in court, Nice Dad apparently said something like, "Entitled Mom can have all she wants, even my wine collection. I just want to be with my daughter." Entitled Mom, knowing that Nice Dad didn't have any money left and had some quite expensive wine, agreed. Daughter ended up with Nice Dad, mother paying alimony. What Entitled Mom didn't know, Nice Dad was replacing his wine collection before the divorce with the cheapest wines he could find at different discounters, gifting away the expensive ones. He knew that Entitled Mom either is going to take everything from him or will break his wine collection. We both laugh. I gifted the book to little girl who seemed very happy. When Entitled Mom dropped her off, she was shy and seemed small, and now she had such a big smile on her face and was curious for everything. She could read much better than a few weeks ago. She seemed like a bird taking off to fly towards the sun. I absolutely hated my job, but situations like these make me a little nostalgic. Somehow I miss direct interactions with customers. On the other hand, I don't. I obviously don't. Can I just point out how this entitled mother is literally a pedophile's dream come true? "Hey, you total stranger, I've never met you before, but I demand that you watch my underage daughter for several hours completely unattended while she has no way to contact me." That sounds perfect. We can go play in my tickle basement. Good, and I'm so selfish that if something happened to her, I would just blame it on a family friend, which would mean you're totally safe to keep doing whatever it is that you do in your tickle basement. It sounds fun down there. Yeah, lots of fun. Here's the background. I live in a predominantly white suburban neighborhood in America. This neighborhood is so disproportionately white that I would say 90% of the people I know are white, and I will seldom see more than 10 non-white people in a day. I really don't mind this fact, and I have grown to be very fond of this neighborhood. Race doesn't really matter to me, and I consider myself privileged for living the good life I live. 99.9% of the people in this neighborhood are very nice and caring. It's just the 0.01% that this story is about. I am a Korean American teen living in America who immigrated from Korea when I was about 6. I speak English fluently, albeit with a moderate Korean accent, which I have had pointed out to me over the years, often in a derogatory way. Doesn't help that I'm in a neighborhood where people aren't used to it and I've been teased before. Doesn't really bother me, as I can't really refute. I have 2 names, my American and my Korean. This is important later on. Now, to bring in my friend, we'll call her Friend for convenience. Now, I've known her for a while, and she recently moved to America from Korea about a month ago to my town. Keyword recently moved. She knows practically no English aside from what schools taught her back in Korea. Her vocabulary consisted of simple words like sorry, hello, how are you, please, etc. She's very unconfident about speaking English to other people and naturally doesn't say much for fear of not knowing what to say. Because I wanted to hang out with her and talk to her, I invited her to go to a cafe, which had a staff that had another Korean person in it. I was good friends with the staff, and I wanted my friend to meet more Korean people so she could talk to more people than just me. One day, we decided to go to our local cafe together, and it is here where we met the entitled parent. Me and my friend were just talking about regular stuff, mostly how have you been and long time no see talk, as it's the first time I've seen her in a while amongst all the unpacking and business of moving. My friend says in Korean, "I don't think I could ever get used to America. Everything's so inconvenient here. Getting used to it would be like plucking a star out of the sky." Korean saying for impossible. "Besides, why is internet so slow here? I could take a shower in the time it takes for me to search something up." At this point, entitled kid comes walking along and notices us talking. He stares at us while walking with 2 coffees in his hands before coming to a stop at our table. "You should speak English." Me, taken aback. "I'm sorry, what?" "You should speak English. This is America, not China." Friend, not understanding the situation and thinking we did something wrong, says, "Sorry." "Why do we have to speak English here? We aren't even speaking to you." My friend says to me in Korean, "What did we do wrong?" I say, "Nothing, it's just this kid wants us to speak English." "Are you making fun of me?" My friend says, "Sorry, I don't speak English very good." Me laughing and in Korean, "Hey, you've gotten good at English." A huge mistake. At this point, entitled kid is convinced that we're making fun of him and stomps off visibly angry. What did we do wrong? Why'd you apologize? Don't apologize to people like him. We were doing nothing wrong. Don't worry. Is this common in America? I started to reassure her that this was the first time this happened to me and it's not at all common. This is when entitled parent showed up, entitled kid at her side. "I hear you've been making fun of my kid." No, we weren't. We were just speaking to each other. "I'm not someone you want to lie to. You were making fun of my kid in Chinese, weren't you?" I told you we weren't. "Stop this BS. I know both of you can speak English and deliberately chose to speak Chinese in front of my kid. What were you saying?" Ma'am, my friend doesn't speak English. She moved from Korea a month ago and barely knows it. That's why we were talking in Korean. The entitled kid points to my friend. "No, you're wrong. I heard her say sorry to me in English. I know she can speak English." At this point, my friend had enough, and I could tell she was on the verge of tears. Imagine someone accusing you and yelling at you in a language that you can't even understand and not being able to defend yourself. The sight of this made me especially angry and panicked, and I lashed out. Just because I know how to say hola in Spanish, does that mean I know all of frickin' Spanish? Please leave us the freak alone. At this point, this was causing a commotion with some of the other people at the cafe. "You don't speak to me like that with that language. Apologize to me right now." What do we have to apologize for? We did nothing wrong. Why do I have to speak English just because you're here? "You will not disrespect me or my kid in this way. This is America. You should be speaking English. English! Do you know how rude it is to everyone around you? If you want to speak Chinese, go back to China." At this point, my friend started to cry a bit. And at this point, one of the staff, the Korean one I talked about earlier, finally overheard the situation and came over. He says, "Ma'am, is there a problem here?" "Yes, these two kids are making fun of my child in Chinese." He says, "Do you speak Chinese?" "No, but they should be speaking English. They were laughing at my kid. They both speak English. They should get kicked out of the cafe for this." He says in Korean, gently, "Hey, were you making fun of this kid?" My friend, surprised and relieved she could finally say something, "No, we really weren't. He approached us first." The entitled parent, not understanding Korean and being a genuine idiot, "Are you siding with her in this?" Ma'am, you know people have the right to speak whatever language they want here, right? "They have the right to make fun of my kid in whatever language they want, even when she knows English. If they want to say something, say it to my face." The coworker says to my friend, "Do you speak English? You're much more comfortable in Korean, right? What happened? Don't worry about language. I'm Korean too. Just tell me what happened." My friend proceeded to explain everything that happened. "Ma'am, my friend here is saying that your kid was the one who bothered them first." "That's a complete lie." "Because if you want, I can check the cameras for you. You know, just as double checking." Entitled parent was adamant, and entitled kid visibly reacted to this. "How dare you accuse my kid of instigating this situation? Let me see the evidence right now." The coworker says, instead of yelling at kids over this, why don't we find some tangible evidence instead of some claims? The entitled kid whispered something to entitled parent. "Miss, if you keep this up, we might have to call the police for harassment and disturbance of public peace." It was then that entitled parent suddenly changed her mind. "Look, lady, I don't have time for this. I have a meeting to get to." She glared at me. "This was a huge waste of time. Goodbye." It was obvious she was just trying to leave the situation. We didn't try and pursue her, as we didn't want to poke the fire and ruin our day more than it had been ruined. On the bright side, I never saw her again. I know that compared to other crazy stories here, this one is pretty boring and it's just a stereotypical cliche case of racism. Perhaps I was just unlucky, but let's just say that because of this situation, my friend started America on the wrong foot. Heck, even on the wrong leg. Oh well, I guess things like these happen. I feel like in this situation, the best thing for them to do was just double down and then start actually making fun of the kid and the mom in Korean. Because I don't know what it is, but when you think someone is making fun of you in another language, it's just one of the most frustrating things in the world. So to all my viewers out there who speak another language, I want to hear from you in the comments. Writing your comment in another language, what would you say to this entitled parent? That was r/Entitledparents, and to be honest, I think the parent from the first story is one of the single worst parents I've ever seen on this YouTube channel. Any parent who would give their little girl to a complete stranger for like 6 hours honestly deserves to be in jail. Do you agree or disagree with me? Let me hear from you down in the comments.